Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our transatlantic conversation. For nearly 3 years, we've enjoyed the privilege of hosting Association Transformation for the international membership community. Over nearly 40 hours and 70 plus episodes, we've hosted more than 100 guests from the UK, the USA, Australia, South Africa, and many points in between. Regular listeners will know that over the years, we've covered a huge variety of topics, from change management, leadership relationships, and 4-day weeks, to financial strategy, income generation, and modern governance practice. And of course, who could possibly forget the unicorns and the puppy dogs episode? We really hope you enjoy every episode, and while we will always make our content freely available, remember, subscribe wherever you get your favorite pods. If you would like to lend us your support, you can do so by subscribing to the pod from as little as $5 a month. Now, hopefully it goes without saying that Elisa and I and the whole Association Transformation production team will appreciate your generosity and your ongoing support. To subscribe, visit patreon.com/Association Transformation and choose the monthly subscription level that suits you best. That's Patreon, patreon.com/Association Transformation. And remember, whatever you're up to today, put your members and your mission first. Enjoy the pod.
Well, welcome to Association Transformation. Hello. Thanks for joining us. I'm a little off today because I will admit my not better half is not with me this morning. So you'll have just Elisa Pratt with Brewer Pratt Solutions. We don't have the pleasure of Andrew Chamberlain this morning. He is off gallivanting at a state ASAE conference, and we wish him the best out there. But I have the honor of being joined by one of the biggest names in association consulting and association membership marketing. So I don't know, Andrew would normally do the drum roll, but I'm very excited this morning to have Tony Russell with us, Senior Vice President, Marketing General. I mean, is an introduction even really necessary? I mean, we all know him, the man, the myth, the legend. Tony has been supporting and evolving the association space for, I don't know, 30 years? Are
That's
you
about
okay
right.
with that number,
That's
Tony?
about
Are
right.
you okay with that?
I am fine with that. I've loved 29 of the years.
And keep coming back for more and keep coming back. I've been familiar with your work and always as a fellow consultant, inspired by all that you and Marketing General do and all the free information that you share and your annual survey work. You know, you truly are stewards of the industry. And I know we appreciate that. Of course, your clients keep coming back, needing your support. We had originally reached out to you because you wrote a great article at the end of last year, beginning of this year, in the Association Evolve collection. And it was about identifying, solving systemic membership marketing challenges. And that feels so far away. That feels so long ago that I'd love to chat about what you have going on now. But welcome to Association Transformation, and thanks for joining us.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I will say, Alyssa, I am a big fan of you all. I've enjoyed listening to your podcasts. They've been terrific. You do it so well, and that's a real contribution to the nonprofit community. So I want to thank you because I think you have the same mindset that I do, wanting to share what we learn and help organizations achieve their mission and grow. So thanks. It's so great to have you, to be here with you.
All right. Well, I'll let Andrew know. We now have listener number 27. I think we're pretty excited. We're on our way to 30. We'll count you as listener 27 and now a forever member of the Association Transformation family.
Well, you do a great job. You do a great job.
Excited to have you. Now you have a new book out.
Yes.
Well, new-ish.
Yes, newish.
You published Membership Recruitment, How to Grow Recurring Revenue, Reach New Markets, and Advance Your Mission.
Yep.
After all the years of sharing content and distilling your thoughts, what motivated you to write, this book and put this out for the larger audience?
Thanks for the question. There's really two motivations. One is, and you've been in this field for 20 years, so what we do each day is we interact with associations. We talk to them, we understand their problems, we try to develop solutions. And so part of it is, having done this for 3 decades, I've hopefully learned some things. I've learned some things that work, learned some things that didn't work. And I wanted to save that and share that. The other aspect is, for 15 years, and you referenced this, we produced the Membership Marketing Benchmarking Report. And so we've literally had thousands of associations give us their information. They've told us what they do in membership, what their practices are. Yes, you have a copy right there in front of you.
I just brought mine out. I have a stack of these on my desk back in the good old days. I don't know if you guys still print these anymore.
We do still print it, yes.
I love it. It comes every year. I have my this was 13th edition back in 2021. I've got a stack of them. It's amazing how much information you guys put out. It's amazing.
Well, it's actually the most enjoyable project I work on every year. So, what we do is we've had thousands of associations give us their information. They tell us what practices they do. What are they doing in membership? Then we ask them, what are the outcomes? Is your membership growing, going down? How are your renewal rates? The key is we then cross-tabulate that. So we basically can say, here's the correlation between this activity, this practice, and membership growth, or increased renewals, or increased new member input. And so combining both that experience and also 15 years of data, I thought it would be useful to put it into some kind of a format that people could access. And so that was sort of inspired the book. One thing that's helped a little bit is we've gone hybrid. So I don't have that hour-long commute each way every day. So I have had a little bit more time.
You have all this time on your hands.
Exactly. What am I going to do all this time?
Now, I do have a question about data, because you hear this a lot. We've just gone through the most seismic shift and disruption in probably our lifetimes in terms of the global pandemic, both personally, professionally. How do you distinguish pre-COVID data during COVID, and now post-COVID data? Is there kind of, I've seen people say, 20.
I think I've frozen.
What are your thoughts on the data prior to COVID? Is it still relevant to us?
Yeah, the data, great question. One of the things that we've seen over the 15 years is there have been challenges for associations. You remember the 2008, 2009 recession. And the 2 years where we saw membership really take a hit, both in acquisition and renewals, was in 2008, we saw that big dip. And then again, obviously, in 2020, we saw that big dip. In both cases, we've seen a remarkable rebound. And so after the 2008 recession, some of the biggest growth years for associations took place in 2010, 2011, as far as membership counts go. Early data from both last year and then again, early data from this year is looking like we're seeing again that rebound. And interestingly, one of the biggest rebounds we've seen coming that we're going to report in a couple of months is new member input has really increased. So I do think that when challenging times come, people do look for community. They look for, okay, who's going to advocate for my company and my industry? Who's going to provide the information I need, the critical information I need? Who's going to help me with my career and to find the next job? So I do think that a friend in need is a friend indeed. And so I do think we're seeing people come to associations realizing that they need that support that maybe they didn't realize they needed before some of these events.
So after these months of isolation,
right, people
are really coming out hungry and eager for all that associations and nonprofits provide. Exactly. It is an exciting time, and you hope organizations have made it through and still have the resources and the staff and the bandwidth to now leverage this and serve those newly and even more enthusiastic audiences. That's exciting. Well, I appreciate the breaking news. I appreciate the first release of some of those findings. What were the big takeaways in the book? What were those major themes? Not that I don't want to deter people from buying it. Again, membership recruitment. Go pick that up. But what's the big aha?
So I wish I had just one aha, but I had three ahas. So, so
okay.
I hope that's
All right,
okay.
We'll take it.
Yeah, number one is I really wanted to make the case and give association staff the information to support membership. You do hear now, and I met with the CEO who said, why do we need membership? Members have Google. And it's like, it took me back. And, it's interesting. I listened to your podcast with Robbie Kellman Baxter, and she articulates that so well. Her first book was The Membership Economy. And she made the case that companies are rushing to the membership relationship because it builds loyalty, it builds referrals, it builds continuity of revenue. And so I wanted to make the case that membership still works for associations, gave case studies of groups that have gone from 12,000 to 150,000 members. So that was number one. It makes sense. Number two is, okay, you believe in membership. How do you plan and execute an effective membership recruitment program? Membership recruitment is the key to association growth. It's interesting. Renewal rates have stayed very stable over the years. The correlation we see is that when groups are adding members and putting members to the top of the funnel, those are the groups that are seeing growth. And the final one is okay, I've done everything. I'm running a good program. How do I keep my program resilient? How do I innovate? What are the opportunities for jumping the curve and keeping growth going? And so I talk about those opportunities too. So those are the three major themes.
Well, I love that. We still believe in membership. And I agree. I hate those discussions of this new generation that doesn't join, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't know about you, but if you look at my keychain and in my wallet, I've never had more membership cards than ever before. Yeah. So, whether it's joining an association or being a frequent flyer or having given my personal information to the grocery store so I can get a few cents off here and there. I agree. I think membership in what it's evolved to as a business model and what it has, the potential that it offers, not only for data, but for community, for a shared experience. I mean, how many passwords do I have for websites that I've joined?
Yeah.
So yes, I think to say membership is dead is a misnomer. It's ignorant, it's short-sighted, and I agree with you. I believe in membership too, and I'm so glad that you make it plausible. You show the how-to of keeping membership strong, because it's easy to talk about, but bringing it to life and making sure you have the case to make for it is another thing.
We're on the same page there. Exactly agree.
Yeah. Membership has become something I think bigger than ever before. It used to just be about showing up to a meeting or a Moose Lodge or a Cub Scout event, whatever it was all very tactile. It was very physical and in person. And now we're so free of that.
Yeah.
When we look ahead to, why do so many organizations then, if we have this enthusiasm and we can see it makes so much sense, our optimism, why do so many organizations still struggle to grow their membership?
And it's interesting. I'll be curious if you've experienced the same thing. It sounds like we hear some of the same narratives and some of the same challenges. I think there's a couple reasons why membership is a struggle for some organizations. There is more competition, clearly. I mean, as you mentioned, you have a wallet full of cards, so you've got to be on your A game all the time, and you just can't be passive in this. One of the things I've noticed is I've walked into groups and said, "Oh, my membership's going down." I say, "Well, what's the plan?" And they don't have a plan. So that's a problem, obviously. If you don't have a plan.
Red flag.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting is, and you've probably seen this, I've had experiences where a board has said, okay, I want to have 20,000 members by 2020. They lay out the goal. They say, here's my aspiration. If in membership, the concept of if you build it, they will come does not work. membership is what we call a push product. There are pull products, like the new technology gadget. People line up at the store to get it. Membership is a push product. It's sold, not sought. So you can join the association 24/7, but it needs to be an invitation. And the third one that really holds back groups that I find is increasingly the case is what I call the paralysis of analysis. Some groups spend years trying to think through, okay, what do I do about membership? And a lot of times the answer is ready, fire, aim. Get something out there. Go to your lapsed members and see if they'll come back. If they don't come back, you got a larger problem. But if they do come back, invite more. So those are some of the challenges. No plan, goals without really supporting that goal with staffing, with funding, with outside resources, and just dithering, I guess is another word to use.
Now, you mentioned that we want 20,000 members by 2020. I see this often as well, especially in the trade association space. This goal of an arbitrary number that we feel like we need to hit a number. And I try to deter my clients from quantity.
Yeah.
That there's especially on the professional side, representing an industry, having more voices under your tent can be valuable, especially if you're lobbying and working on advocacy. But setting an arbitrary number, just pulling that out of the blue, I don't know that you're setting yourself up for the impact you think you are, and you're chasing something that may not be valuable or attainable. It should be more about the quality of those who are at the table and the impact that they can have. What are your thoughts on that quality versus quantity argument in membership?
So first of all, you're right, and it typically is more trades that do that. And I have more problem with people setting a number and then not supporting that number with, I'm a marketer, with marketing dollars and with staffing and with outside assistance when they need it. The challenge on the quality versus quantity is this. When you're going to the prospect market, you don't know if someone's going to stay for 20 years as a member or for 1 year as a member. So if you can determine that, if you can use data analytics to determine, okay, this kind of company or this kind of professional is going to stay and this one's not going to stay, okay, that's great. But most groups don't know that. So you try to bring in the volume, engage those people, develop that relationship, and hopefully they'll stay. But certainly if you can determine that this is going to be a quality member and this is not going to be a quality member, then clearly you want that quality, because those people are going to buy more, they're going to support more, they're going to provide volunteers, they're going to help you achieve your mission.
Right. Well, and that are they quality or not can be a dangerous conversation in an antitrust context.
Yes.
But I see a lot of organizations, they'll offer these discounts or these trial memberships, or they'll go after service providers and affiliates at a lower rate just to get the head count up. And it's you're bolstering it under false pretenses, and it's not, to your point, for the long haul. It's not those who are truly there to give and get back.
Yes.
So if you have an organization, or you are an organization with your membership and recruitment efforts at a critical level, what's the first step? What's the first, I don't know, call for help? What's the first action to try to right that ship?
So one of the folks that I've found very helpful to sort of follow his wisdom is Edward Deming, who was the Total Quality Management. And he basically had a methodology that I thought was really helpful. And it is to plan. So you need some planning before you launch a membership program. You need to know who's my target audience, what offers I'm going to do, what's the call to action, what's the message, what channels I'm going to use. He has plan, do, study, act. So the plan is in place, then do something, get something out there, try to see what the market responsiveness is, and then study. Then look at the results. Who joined, who didn't join, what worked, what didn't work, and then implement a more detailed and more thoughtful plan of action. So plan, do, study, act is a really good methodology to get that program started.
Well, and I hear you reiterating in a couple of different ways to do something.
Yes.
Act, you mentioned the analysis paralysis, and
Right.
if you know there's a problem, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
And trying things, piloting things, experimenting, using your data to give you ideas and to generate options, even if they're not forever pathways, they're maybe
Right.
just trial pathways. That's what I hear you saying, and you're very, very diplomatic and professional way is to just get out there and do something,
Yeah.
and see how it goes, see what
Totally
happens,
agree.
and give yourself
Yeah.
something to learn from.
Yeah, but it is learning, and it is optimizing over time. There's no silver bullet. So you've got to see what the market says and react to that, and then continue to test and try different things.
Well, and there's never been a silver bullet. I can imagine there won't ever be a silver bullet. But if we are at, as you said, a place of growth coming off of a time of contraction, and that pendulum is swinging in a positive way towards engagement, towards participation, what does the future hold? Does that mean we're just in the good times and the dark days are ahead? What does the future of association membership programs look like?
It's a great question, and anyone predicting the future is I'm only 51% right. So
hey, that's better than a lot. You should start sports gambling.
Yeah, here's my thought on that. I do think that there is a challenge in keeping your membership vital and keeping your membership moving forward, resilient. And so there is an opportunity on the membership side. One is to reevaluate your package, reevaluate what you're serving members. What you've given members 10 years ago may not be relevant today. And you mentioned before, membership used to be very personally interactive. You volunteered, you went to the Thursday night chapter meeting, you bought books from the association. All those things have gone away to a large extent. People aren't going out for the Thursday night meeting. They're not buying books anymore. They're
except your book.
Yeah, maybe
recruitment.
But you can buy mine electronically if you want.
Okay. Just for the record,
it's instant gratification. But and so there is a point where you need to sort of reevaluate and step back and say, is this membership serving the members in the proper way? Do I need a tiered structure so that I can have an entry level membership for maybe newer people to the profession, but for those faculty at colleges or for those leaders, maybe have a premium membership? One of the things that we've seen work very well for a number of groups is adding organizational membership. So moving to a hybrid membership where people can join as an individual or the company or department can join. So ASAE is, as you know, has both individual membership, but the entire association can also join as a member. We help them. They're a client of ours. We help them launch that. There's veterinary groups that are saying, okay, I'm serving the vet, but can I also serve the vet tech and help them, because that'll help the vet's practice if those people are better trained and have more resources. So thinking in terms of how do I change the paradigm that I've locked into, the one size fits all that I've locked into for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and think through how do I serve members better? One of the benefits for associations from the pandemic, and there weren't a lot of them, but one of them was 78% of associations, our benchmarking data shows, launched new products or services because of the need to make changes during the pandemic. So there was a critical need to innovate. How do I move my conference from an in-person to a hybrid? How do I keep members when the mail isn't going to their house, isn't going to their business because they're working from their home? So the one benefit from that pandemic was a lot of innovation, a lot of thinking things through. How do we serve and how do we function differently?
Well, now I find as a result of that, I don't know if you can concur or have similar anecdotes, but after that 2.5 years of yes, let's add, let's do more, let's innovate to keep people.
Right.
Now we have organizations who are drowning in
yes.
Or I guess I don't want to mix my metaphors, these overgrown gardens of
yes.
everything they did before and now everything they have added. So I appreciate your recommendation to review. What is valuable to your members now? What are you doing? How are you evolving that value proposition and those deliverables? And that can't be a once in a crisis discussion.
No, and one of the things that we advocate from people is research is important. And one of the things that we do is what we call a gap analysis. So we ask people, here's the benefits, here's the portfolio of things you get. What's important to you? How well are we delivering on it? And then you get a gap. Are we something important but we're not delivering, or vice versa? And then you may pare down some of those things that are not important to members and focus on the products and services, the things that really are.
Something that I didn't tell you I was going to ask you, but something that comes up all the time, and you actually may be the perfect person to know this. We talk all the time on the listservs and as association professionals about survey response rates.
Mm-hmm.
And as the king of research, what is the new normal or the new expectation for a healthy membership survey?
So part of it depends on who you're going to. So a lot of the research we do is going to members, lapsed members, and never members, because it's really interesting to compare their views and their perspectives and their needs. It's not unusual on the member side to get 10 to 15% response rate. That's a typical number for an email online survey.
Okay, all right, that makes me feel better. That sounds kind of like where it's always been. Okay,
and that gives you, if you have enough people, that gives you some good statistical validity.
Okay. And then, of course, downhill from there with the lapsed and the never been. Okay. All right. Well, you heard it here first. Tony says it's okay if you're still getting in the low teens for your member surveys. That's still statistically viable with member audiences. So
yes.
I think in that all virtual, digital first world, people were expecting more, and we've seen almost the opposite with digital burnout.
Right. And there's variables. I mean, if you have a 50-question survey versus a 5-question survey, you're going to see a very, very different level of response. Sure. So I think obviously not asking questions that aren't necessary and really honing in what you really need to know is a critical piece.
Well, I am excited. I already have my copy on the way. So I've read a little bit online, but I'm old school. I like the paper.
I'm with you too. I like
to fold the corners and underline things and write in the margins. So I have my copy of Membership Recruitment on the way. I'm always excited to see what comes next from Marketing General. You all are a mainstay in this industry. We appreciate your contributions. We appreciate the data that you share and the expertise that you make available. Tony, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll come back. I hope we'll give Andrew the benefit of your input and your expertise. But this has been a real pleasure. Actually, it's actually kind of been nice that he's not here. It was just been you and I. We didn't have to cut him.
Oh, I missed that accent though.
Oh God, everybody loves the accent. Oh geez. Okay, fine. All right, we'll get him back on for next time.
It was great talking to you though. And again, thanks for your service to the community. I think these are wonderful podcasts and episodes. So appreciate being here. Always happy to come back.
Well, thank you, Tony. We will take you up on that. And you can always find Association Transformation where you get your podcasts. Make us one of your favorites. And until next time, we say put your members and your mission first.